Alrighty, guys, we're back for Boros Flagship, and this is an Aetherdrift standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. But first things first, this was a patron suggestion. So thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. We have 3 Valor's Flagship. It's a 7 mana, 7/7 legendary artifact vehicle, crew for 3. Has flying, first strike, and lifelink. Okay. Also has cycling for X, 2, and a white. When you cycle this card, create X 1/1 colorless pilot creature tokens with this token, saddles, mounts, and crews vehicles as though its power were 2 greater. Awesome stuff. That's going to be an excellent way to go ahead and plug this into the graveyard. That cycling cost being 3, I'm actually going to do some rearranging here for the flagship. Well, why do we want this in the grave? Of course, we're rocking Tune Up. It's a 4 mana sorcery. Return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it's a vehicle, it just becomes an artifact creature. Forever, bro. It doesn't say until end of turn. That's really, really cool, isn't it? There's other artifact vehicles that we wouldn't mind hitting with the tune-up. Cards like Salvation Engine, even though it's just 5 mana, I guess you could wait 1 turn and just play the Salvation Engine. At the same time, there's going to be other ways to plug these vehicles into the grave early on, so this is a 5 mana, 6/10 vehicle. It has crew for 6, which is really steep. Other artifact creatures you control get +2/+2. Awesome. Whenever this vehicle attacks, return up to 1 target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. My goodness, so even more ways to reanimate our vehicles sounds excellent to me. How about more ways to put those vehicles in the grave? Well, we got top end Detention Chariot here. It's a 6 mana 6/6 crew for 3. When it enters, exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls until this vehicle leaves the battlefield. It has a bottom cycling ability for just 1 white mana. I did the rearranging for the flagship. I'm going to do the same for the chariot. And similar concept here with the Ironclad. 4 mana 6/3 vehicle with menace, crew for 3, and it has a bottom cycling ability for just 1 red mana. Heck yeah, dude. Great ways to plug these vehicles into the grave. Now, bringing back something like Ironclad with a tune-up isn't going to be the greatest thing, but at least it gets to stay as a 6/3 menacing creature, right? Outside of that, just plugging these extra artifacts into the grave to eventually be brought back with Salvation Engine actually does sound pretty powerful, doesn't it? More vehicles. Not top-end vehicles, but some vehicles to help us ramp. We got Cultivator's Caravan. It's a 3 mana 5/5 crew for 3 vehicle, and you could tap it to add 1 mana of any color. I don't know, man. Am I crazy? Or is this actually pretty decent? I think this is going to be pretty good in here, man. I think we're going to really appreciate the extra ramp that comes with it. Okay, guys, how else are we going to be plugging these cards into the grave? Well, we got a couple bitter reunions. That should do the thing. And how about more ramp and more ways to plug things into the grave? Collector's Vault. All 4 of them. It's a 2 mana artifact. You can pay 2, tap it, draw a card, then discard a card. Create a treasure token. Overall, it's probably going to be pretty slow, but I opted for all 4 of them for a good reason. So why do I care so much about the ramp if we're going to be cheating stuff onto the board with tune-up? How about cheating stuff onto the board with Push the Limit here? 7 mana sorcery. We got 2 of them here on the top end. Return all mount and vehicle cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, now what? You sacrifice them at the beginning of your next end step, unfortunately. That's okay. The plan is to win right here, right now, because vehicles you control become artifact creatures until end of turn. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. If you're not winning then and there, first of all, what has the opponent done to you at that point, you know? But yeah, push the limit. On the top end, the ramp is going to be pretty significant. How about some removal? Well, we got a couple Spring-Loaded Sawblades. Should do the thing nicely. We do have a Torch the Tower. And all 4 Road Rage. It's a 1 red mana instant speed. That's important. Deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, where X is 2 plus the number of mounts and vehicles you control. Interested to see how much this is actually going to do in here, since we don't have a lot of cheap vehicles packed in. The mana base, guys. We actually have all 4 of the Surveil lands. We have all 4 Sunbillow Verge. A couple Demolition Field. We have a couple Mirrex. We also have this Fomori Vault as well. So a lot of utility lands. We'll see if this split makes a lot of sense for this split, right? We'll see how well the mana base does today, and then maybe we'll talk more about that in the final thoughts. lot of honorable mentions. Thought about Splitskin Doll. Kaladin could have been cool. Monument of Endurance. There's a lot of discarding in here, honestly. So, Boommobile, Chandra, Magmatic Galleon, Portal to Phyrexia. A lot of really cool ways we could have potentially put this together. Just not this time round. We're trying this way first. Oh, more removal. How about some board wipes? 3 Day of Judgment. Yeah, I think Day of Judgment should be pretty excellent in here. Maybe we'll talk about wanting 4 of them depending on what we go up against today. But guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video. So look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. Heck yeah, we do. What am I expecting from the build? I think it's going to be good, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I do like this first hand. We go first, too. I like it. Instead of the Parlor, I'm actually just going to go for the Ironclad cycle. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, we got enough untapped mana for a few turns to make sure we're doing the thing nicely. Cycle this right to the grave. Sunbillow Verge, even more untapped land too, so. Island, we could keep the Spring-Loaded Sawblades open, but I think just get the Parlor down, get the Surveil out of the way. Collector's Vault, yeah. That would have been the play for the turn over the Spring-Loaded Sawblades for sure, dude. That really would have been the play. But that's okay that we're seeing it next turn instead. Uh-oh, Atraxa Squirming Emergence, guys. That's really, really bad news. That deck list knows how to go fast, bro. We might be in a lot of danger here. Let's see what they pull off here. It doesn't look like they have the turn 3 Squirming Emergence. They only got 4 cards in the grave. Still, this is gonna... we're in a lot of danger. Oh no, now they have the turn 4 Atraxas. They have 7 cards in the grave. More mana's really, really bad. Leading into the Atraxa next turn. I think we need to trade out some mana with the Collector's Vault and go from there. Let's start with that, see what we do. Also, yeah, it's going to be the Plains. Tune-up isn't bad, but it's definitely not what we want to see here. Get the Demolition Field down. We do have 2 open for the field if we want to pop something, but we don't really, right? Squirming Emergence brings back Atraxa, restock their hand. Atraxa is going to be a huge problem for us to deal with. Okay. We have Spring-Loaded Sawblades open for no reason, and we have Demolition Field open as well. I guess we could play the Sawblades in an attempt to eventually craft it. Because if we think that it's not gonna... Am I missing something? They go for the Jace for the turn. We have an extra turn here, guys. They go for Mill 3. Oh, maybe they want to hit like an Omniscience or something. Wait a minute. Return to the battlefield target non-land permanent card in your graveyard with mana value less than or equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. They had 7, right? Maybe I miscounted. That's possible. Or they don't know what's in our hand. So, I mean, that's something, I guess. I would have played the Spring-Loaded Sawblades in an attempt to maybe eventually craft this with something. I don't think we're going to have a lot of great targets outside of the Prankster, and even then, that's not going to be that good, right? As a matter of fact, we could craft it this turn. It just doesn't have haste, so we won't be able to swing at the Jace. Tune up on the Ironclad, also not the greatest thing, right? So let's go Collector's Vault. Ooh, Valor's Flagship. There we go, dude. But again, no way to give it haste on the board, but that's the discard. Extra treasure token. Now we go tune up. It's sorcery speed, so we want to do it now. That's a card. That's definitely a card. Oh, guys, I didn't play my mana yet. I could have kept a treasure around. Womp womp. I'm sorry about that, guys. Yeah, we could have had an extra treasure on the board. Hopefully it doesn't matter, though. Wow. the feast, being able to hit pretty much anything at that point. That is a lot of cards. That's 14 cards in the opponent's grave. Why no Squirming Emergence? The opponent's taking it slow here. Salvation Engine. Cool. Luckily, Flagship didn't get exiled. I wouldn't mind going Salvation Engine. Maybe we can go Spring-Loaded Sawblades too. I also wouldn't mind... I'm sorry, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy, because technically... we got 5 mana on the board. Collector's Vault can help us ramp. If we send the other Collector's Vault in hand, right? And we get enough... might send the Salvation Engine. We could look for the Push the Limits. Got 2 in here. Alright, I'm going to start with Collector's Vault. Maybe send the Salvation Engine. Parlor. I'm going to send the Parlor. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having analysis paralysis right now. Because what I'm going to do then is I'm actually going to play the other Vault. So we can do this multiple times every turn. Okay. We'll play the Plains and we'll send the Salvation Engine. And right now, what we're doing with these extra Vaults is we're searching for the Push the Limit. And we're just going to send as many... okay, so Ironclad, we're just going to send as many of these to the grave as possible. We're also maybe looking for a way to give haste to the engine when it comes time, because we can still tune it up too. And then Ironclad we can send... I guess we do it actually now, because there could be 1 mana thing that we want to do on our turn. It's actually another Ironclad. That's funny, dude. Still waiting for the Atraxa, but maybe they're just... there's the Atraxa. They actually go Zombify instead of Emergence. My guess is because they want to hit Omniscience with the Emergence, and they can't hit Omniscience with the Zombify. At that point, they'd probably combo off and win. Like on that turn, right? With a whole bunch of free things and just keep going minus on Jace, or however they end up pulling that off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7th is the treasure. So actually we don't want to use the other Ironclad, because if we draw the Push the Limit, we want to use it right away. But now that Atraxa can get them back up to 25, you know, it'd still be a really good swing. Okay, Bitter Reunion is not bad at all. Let's send the Ironclad with the Bitter Reunion, see what we draw. Tune-up is not terrible. Still got the 1 mana open. Yeah, more tune-ups isn't bad. Salvation Engine is a 6/10. Bring back the Flagship with the Salvation Engine off the swing. We won't be able to give that haste, though. Still probably worth it. I'm going to keep the Plains to ditch to the Collector's Vault when it comes time for next turn. I guess we could do it now and still have 2, 3, 4. No, never mind. I want the Bitter Reunion play, too. Which I suppose we could play the Plains to do that and keep the treasure around. Oh! No! An offer you can't refuse! No! Oh no, opponent! That was good, that was good. Alright, let's get 1 step closer here. Again, we do it on our turn. There could be something that we find. I think we're officially out of this one, though. I think there could have been a chance. Okay. Okay. Right, I will do this now. Yep. Activate this ability. Okay, Day of Judgment could really help if they don't have a counterspell for it, or if we don't die this turn. I'm going to keep that and the tune-up. Still have another treasure. Alright, there are 2 Push the Limits in this deck list too. But 37 cards remaining, it still could take a while. Will of the Forgotten. What are they bouncing? We have to discard too? Oh no, opponent, how could you? I'm going to keep the Day of Judgment then, as that's our best bet of cleaning up the Atraxa. Even though the tune-up is still the fun okay, never mind. I'm keeping the tune-up. So they bounced our treasure token, unfortunately. Yeah, because if we still could have a really good tune-up. Okay, there's Omniscient, so now they have free cards, and this could just be the turn that we end up dying, actually. Second Atraxa for free, even before they swing, probably means they have this, right? Because Jace, they got -2 on the Jace on the board. Yeah, they didn't swing with the Atraxa, so they're going for the mill. Minus, they did X is -3. There was no push the limit. There's -5. We have 13 cards remaining. And Squirming Emergence. Okay, okay, that's right, that's right. Yep, yep, yep. So they just pushed for the mill. At that point, nothing that we can do at instant speed, so good game, opponent. I think that could have gone either way, guys. I do. I think in that last turn, I don't think we would have been able to do much against this turn, right? Because in that last turn, they had that counterspell. The counterspell is a little bit less devastating after knowing the fact of what they had. Because even having the big old chunky artifact vehicles on the board, it wouldn't have done much against their mill strategy, right? That deck list is still very, very scary and very hard to play against, too. I wasn't expecting that counterspell at all. But again, yeah, it didn't really matter. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? There's our push the limit, huh? There we go. There could be an argument to be had for 3 push the limits, but then what happens when you see all the push the limits, but you're really just desperately looking for removal or something? You know what I mean? I'm not going to keep the Road Rage open. We're going to go right into the Parlor. Keep the 3rd mana on top. I like to see it. Road Rage would have been pretty good here, right? We could just go Spring-Loaded Sawblades for the turn, and we could do it before they boost the Swift Spear, but I don't think they're going to get it above 5 damage, guys, so I think we're fine. Be a really good turn to get the Swift Spear above 5. Nice. Yeah, so we'll hit the Swift Spear with the Sawblades. Or the Road Rage, and then cycle out the Ironclad now that they're tapped out. If they weren't tapped out, we would have had a different turn here. Also, cycling first would have made more sense too. All right, Parlor, keep the 2 open. Bitter Reunion for the turn. Or, no, Sawblades to be able to take care of the Slickshot show-off. Do we need another Day of Judgment? Got double white on the board. Nah, it's fine. No, I'll keep... Crap. I'll keep it. I guess. Gotta play the control game sometimes, huh? And worst comes to worst, we can send one of the Day of Judgments to the Bitter Reunion, too, if we really don't need the second one. Blackcleave Cliffs probably means we're up against some fling, and they are passing it back because they don't want to run into something here. And we're not going to be hasty with the Sawblades at all. We are going to play our 4th. Bitter Reunion's probably worth it, right? And I guess I'll send the Day of Judgment. I wasn't planning on doing this, but it's just how it ended up working out, I guess. Okay, more mana, and then we have Ironclad as well to send to the grave. 4th mana from the opponent. They go for another Slickshot show-off, which is definitely going to be a problem. They're going to go for one big explosive turn. Tune up. Not the greatest right now, but I don't mind seeing it. 5th mana on the board. Nothing, right? Nothing. We are forced to keep the Spring-Loaded Sawblades because double Slickshot show-off could end us next turn easily, dude. When they got 4 mana, especially. So we have to keep the removal. They're waiting. They're waiting for one big turn. Okay, 6th mana. Now we have all the mana we need for when it comes time for Push the Limit, which is kind of important. being patient with the Spring-Loaded Sawblades still makes sense to me over anything else here. Plus, we have Mirrex at least, so. Okay, we'll swing with the Might. All right. What you got for us, opponent? They're just waiting. They're trying to build up as much as possible in their hand to make these slick shot show-offs a little bit ridiculous, but here they come. Here they come. Oh, if it's just the one, then that's fine. See that swing? If they just want to put one through, that's also fine. What do you guys suppose? All right, just one through. That's fine, dude. I don't know. I'm trying to practice as much patience as possible here. I hope it's gonna work out. I guess I hold back the Spring-Loaded Sawblade for a better turn. For a better hit. Oh, another Spring-Loaded Sawblade. Okay, that works. So push the limit. We're not quite there yet because we have 12 damage here. 2 on the board. The opponent's still at 19, so not seeing enough of our vehicles. Unless I would have played Spring-Loaded Sawblades earlier. Maybe we could have had a craft at some point. Maybe. Maybe the tune-up would be worth it now that we have so much excess mana. Probably not. Yeah, because we could have had tune-up for 4, Bitter Reunion, swing for the extra 6 from the Ironclad if they let it go through, right? We still would have had 2 open for the Spring-Loaded Sawblades. At this point, we have double Sawblades. I guess we try one now, see if they waste any of their cards on the Slickshot Show-Off, and then we have the next one for next turn, too. And I think that's okay. It lands, so I don't know. I guess the opponent's not playing Gruul, so I don't exactly know what I was expecting. With you just never know, right? With the they do have black mana, so others show off. See what they do with it, right? Both the opponent and I are playing these very cautiously. And looks like they're going to try something this time. Blazing Crescendo, nice. Before they see anything off the top, that's where we take the, let's see, up to 3. No. Yeah, before they see anything off the top. That's where we take the time for the Spring-Loaded Sawblades. Yeah. Looks like it might be a pretty good turn for the opponent. We'll see if their patience paid off, and we'll see if I should have been even more patient with the Spring-Loaded Sawblades. Felonish Rage, so that way when the Slickshot dies, but it's only up to a 5-2. They still have a lot of toughness to give it to get around the 5 damage from the Spring-Loaded Sawblades. So even I don't know. Another Felonious Rage. Get as many detectives as possible, says the opponent. So I got 1 mana open. It's a 9-2. All this is at instant speed, so they won't be able to throw it with the Callous Sellsword ability. Or the adventure side. Yeah, let the Blazing Crescendo fizzle out here too. They get a couple 2/2s. I'd say all of that was pretty darn good for us, man. Because it's going to be pretty hard for them to get damage through with just a couple detectives, but that was still a really good turn for the opponent, for sure. Valor's Flagship. There we go, man. That's what I'm talking about, huh? That's what I'm talking about. What do you guys think? We just cycle this for max? These guys can't block, but also their detectives will block quite successfully anyways. We also only have 7, so we can't give haste to the Flagship with the Bitter Reunion, so we probably cycle it out and go for the push the limit next turn. Or we could cycle it, go for the tune-up. That's actually the exact same concept as just playing it, though. 1 second, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. Outside of that, we have this at haste, hasty speed, right? So we could do X is 4. I don't really want to craft that. Yeah, I want the Flagship in the grave. And I want to spam out a whole bunch of 1/1s next turn. That's what I want. Could also like go Day of Judgment too and still cycle this for 3, but I think it's fine. I think it's fine just going the 1/1s. We're still at 18. The opponent's at 17. We go for the swing. I will activate this now. X is 4. All my mana. And then honestly, the push the limit next turn should do it. Hopefully the opponent lets us do the fun thing. I will double block one of these. They have 5 mana open, 4 cards in hand. I don't think they can push 18 damage through. Maybe we should split the blocks. Should be all too easy for them to give trample. I'll split the blocks because we don't need the pilots. These are just chumps. Okay, Blazing Crescendo, see what they see. Callous Sellsword, not terrible at all. Dude, if they boost this 5/3 enough and give it trample, they give it trample. First of all, I'm glad I blocked the other one. They give that one trample too. Guys? Guys? Holy cow, we almost died. Oh my goodness. Holy cow. I'm scared, guys. I'm scared. That could have gone either way easily, dude. Callous Sellsword, throw the 7. We're down to 1. Holy cow. Guess I should have never risked that, right? I should have blocked with all the pilots anyways, especially since we were just going push the limit for the turn. Like, seriously, man. Holy cow. Okay, we still have Road Rage available. Here comes the full swing, though. Good game, opponent. That was very, very scary, man. Holy cow. Dude, for a second there, as they kept boosting, I thought we were dead. I really did. Yeah. Who cares about the pilots at that point? I should have full blocked both of them. For sure. For sure, man. Oh, I'm glad I did not get punished for that. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. Guys, we're about halfway through the video. Make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. And also, guys, for the YouTube side of things, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing as well because it really does help out the channel. So thank you, guys. We go first. I'm gonna try this. I like this. Collector's Vault, Bitter Reunion. I'm going to keep the Road Rage. We don't know what we're up against. The early removal could be very important. Duress. Valor's Flagship opponent. Huh? Huh? Right here. Flagship. They're giving it a look-see. Collector's Vault's a pretty good one to hit, I'd say. If they're planning on going slow, Collector's Vault's a pretty good one. But it depends what they're doing, right? Depends what deck list they're rocking. They do choose the Vault. That's a good target, I would say, for sure. Turn 1 Duress. Is it Bitter Reunion, ditch the Bitter Reunion, or do we ditch that Road Rage that we just drew based on the Duress? I want to keep the Day of Judgment to, if it's like demons, we're going to need to be able to pop a lot of big demons with that. But also, if it was, you'd think they would have taken the Day of Judgment. I'm going to keep the other... Oh, Valor's Flagship. Yeah, we don't got to cycle that, dude. That's the discard. There we go. There we go. Remember, there's other ways to send the vehicles to the grave, too. Deep Cavern Bat. Well, double Road Rage ought to do it, huh? I guess they end up taking... Bitter Reunion? Since we have 2 Road Rage anyways, if it doesn't... Yeah, Bitter Reunion's the grab then. It makes a lot of sense. Luckily, mana fixing on Mirrex for the turn. We can still do everything we want to do. Road Rage, pop the Deep Cavern Bat, and then get the Bitter Reunion down. And I do like the Parlor, but I think we have a really good chance of just seeing more mana here anyways. So I'm going to send the mana. And I hope that's okay. Let's not regret this. It isn't more mana, and we do see a tune-up too. Now, Parlor's a tapped land anyways, so Collector's Vault. Uh-oh, opponent missed. Opponent missed, and I'm a little sad about it. Guys, I'm just going to get the Collector's Vault down and keep the Road Rage open since we missed mana. It might be important to get some treasures on next turn. There's their third. There they go. See what they got here for 3. Unstoppable Slasher. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem, dude. Crap. Uh-oh. Mana, 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 mana. Mana. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Wrong game. Valor's Flagship. I mean, that's like too good to pass up, right? We go for it. It has first strike too. That's so good. Yeah, we go for it, man. We go for it. See if it sticks around. It's too bad we ended up missing that mana, because maybe this turn would have been, if we would have seen like our 5th, maybe we could have went Bitter Reunion. But let's not forget that I sent the Parlor to the Bitter Reunion too. So Liliana, well, we're gonna die really fast. This Slasher is a big problem when we can't hit it with the Road Rage, so we're probably gonna be forced into a Day of Judgment. There's a 5th mana. We could generate some chump blockers. Our other Valor's Flagship can get sent to the graveyard. X is 2. At instant speed as well. Some tough decisions for sure. Collector's Vault isn't terrible either, because we get to see more off the top then, and we'd still have 4 mana thanks to the treasure generation if we wanted to go Day of Judgment for the turn. Outside of that, the discard on the Liliana might just be the Road Rage. We know that the discard is coming. Valor's Flagship was my decision. Let's see what we can get done here with a chump block. Bloodletter of Aklazos. Thank goodness we have the chump block, huh? We go for the swing. X is 2. We chump with 1. We see a Road Rage. Yeah, Road Rage only hitting for 2 right now. But Day of Judgment. Yeah, the discard on the Liliana is going to be Road Rage. And then the Day of Judgment is going to have to drop, but then Slasher comes back, and then we have to deal with that. But its 3 toughness doesn't get picked up by our other Road Rage, so it's tough, man. It's not looking terrific right now in this one. However, any other reanimation for the Flagship should be pretty good. Anoint with Affliction. More mana. I don't want to forget the Vault too, but I think no matter what, the turn is Day of Judgment. Road Rage can also pop the Liliana instead of worrying about the Slasher, which will still come back with a, yeah, the 2 stun counters. So we have a couple turns to deal with it, maybe. Probably still want to play everything, though. We can start with the swing. We might cheese this through. Probably not. Again, we have, like, the Vault, too. We could start with the Vault, which wouldn't be terrible. There's a lot of decisions here, man. There really, really is. I'm not going to go Vault, though. I'm pretty sure I want to keep the Road Rage for now. So I do think that there's a good chance that Road Rage can clean up the Slasher when it comes time. Or maybe we should hit the Liliana, because they're just going to go plus on it anyways. Yeah, so we're going to lose the Road Rage regardless to the Liliana. So we want to do that before anything else, I suppose. Or we could have waited for them to plus, and then since our hand was empty anyways, we could have played the Road Rage on the stack of the plus, right? I think so. That also could have worked really well. I don't know, man. We're running out of things to do over here, so. Oh, another Unstoppable Slasher is terrible news. Oh, dear. All right. Detention Chariot. Nice. That's not bad, man. All right, we just play it. I mean, we got 3 of these in here for a reason, huh? All right, let's see what we can pull off. Their other slasher no longer has any counters on it, so it's still going to be a pain in the butt to get rid of. Archfiend of the Dross. All right, Cultivator's Caravan. And that's probably a trade out. I'm going to use Mirrex mana here. Trade out the Caravan. It's another Caravan. Huh. I'd say if we play the Caravan, is it really that bad? We have no way to crew up these creatures on the board right now until we see like a push the limits. Which actually, we're dead, aren't we? Yeah, we aren't saved by anything in hand or by playing the Caravan because we have no blockers for the slasher. At that point, we might as well activate this for fun, right? See what we see. We have 3 artifacts on the board. Salvation Engine. That's cool. All right, opponent, good game, dude. My goodness. The first swing with the slasher being able to get us down to 9 was rough business, man. This would have been a great game to actually see. Did I drop in the GG? Am I just spamming? Am I spamming the GGs right now? Well, anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, more early removal for the slasher, but also road rage just not being able to do enough. And I probably should have timed my road rage a little bit better for the Liliana too. So overall, probably could have played that one out much better. Guys, one more. Let's push it a little over time. It's a pretty fun one, right? I think that the main issue I'm seeing right now, every time I visit Tune Up, is we tune up something really early, the opponent instantly removes it. Almost no matter what, which is why having all the haste packed in should just be excellent. Okay, guys, pretty risky hand, but we keep it because of all the, early cycling. We should find our 3rd easily, and then we have ramp with the Caravan. It's risky because the opponent goes first, and there's no removal. Early removal. You monster opponent. Okay, we're going to send the Salvation Engine because the other cycling cards are pretty important, and I actually really want the ramp on the Caravan too, so. Okay, Surveil Land. Verge. We keep it, right? I think so. Our turn 2 still looking like Parlor. Surveil whatever's under the Verge. And then we have 1 mana open for the Chariot cycle. Maybe we do want one more push the limit, guys. Maybe. I don't know. 3's a lot. All right. Surveil. Okay, we can send this Verge. We have everything we need for a little while. Let's see what the opponent ends up doing. Because if they only have 2 mana open, it might not be a hopeless nightmare. Start with this swing. We have the decision of just sending Chariot or seeing what's on top. I guess digging further into the deck list makes the most sense as we're looking for the push the limits when it comes time. The question is, are we going to survive long enough to actually... Wow. All 4 Sunbillow Verges, guys. I guess I'll send one of those and keep the Flagship again, mainly for the cycling. Even though it's totally fine to send Flagship in preparation of Reanimation, this is one of those deck lists for sure. You're going to reanimate Flagship early on with tune-up, and they're just going to immediately pop it with something, man. And if Flagship was your only creature... Crap, they're really going for it. We have Caravan for ramp. Okay, this time it's going to be the Flagship. I'm just trying to think, like, is it worth... Parlor, huh? Well, I know the next discard's going to be the Parlor. Let's get the Caravan down. A little bit of ramp should go a long way. Yeah, okay. Yeah, next discard is a land. It'll be the Parlor, probably. We're in danger. We're already down to 8. They played the Hopeless Nightmare a couple times, and it's about to come down again. So we're going down to 6 here. What I want to see, of course, is one of our reanimation cards. But again, it should be all too easy for them to pop a flagship right away, and no way on the board to give it haste either. So, Collector's Vault. All right, well, the good news is, if they don't have more creatures in hand, this will be a really, really good Day of Judgment, unless this is the one Pixie deck list that is running a Spell Pierce. I'm on the edge of my seat, opponent. Oh, we got that board wipe and it was clean, dude. All right. All right. We're in so much danger, man. These Esper Pixie lists, I probably have a 5% win rate against these Esper Pixie lists, dude, for real. All right. Sending Caravan back to hand and playing Hopeless Nightmare. I guess the discard is the Caravan in hopes that we'll be able to bring these vehicles back at some point. Collector's Vault makes 2 cents to hold on to because we'll be able to trade out extra things while still ramping. At that point, if they go Hopeless Nightmare again next turn, we'll probably want to discard the Demolition Field. But I also want to use the Collector's Vault for ramp too, so I don't really know if that's what we want to do, because we could accidentally... Oh, Momentum Breaker also making us discard. I guess it's worthwhile, but if we accidentally discard a Push the Limit, we're in danger either way, aren't we? Let's do this. Let's do this, man. So what this does is, since we didn't play Demolition Field and we're getting punished for it, we're just creating a treasure token. Oh, that's right, guys. Yeah. Okay, no, we're fine. We're fine here. Yeah, so unfortunately, everything is getting discarded anyways. But yeah, we're getting punished for not playing Demolition Field, but it's fine because it helped us peer further through the deck list. At this point, we activate this on our turn because we can actually find something for 3 mana that we want to play. Esper Pixie doesn't have a lot of haste. I'm going to ditch the Spring-Loaded Sawblades. We could craft it with some of these vehicles, but I think this is one of those instances where we need the Push the Limits, right? We'll play the Mountain so I don't get punished this time if they find more discard. We have 7 mana. We're set up for Push the Limits. We don't find it, unfortunately. That's not going to stop me from looking, though, huh? Let's go. Let's look for it. Could also find a tune-up. Detention Chariot is not terrible. Send the Caravan, unfortunately. I still have 6 mana. We could just play the Chariot. It does pick up an artifact or creature, however, so it doesn't actually hit anything over there. We'll keep the cycling open on the Chariot to just peer further. Still have 5 if we do it now on our main phase 2. But if we don't play it and they find discard, yeah, no. I am getting scared that we're getting close enough to the Push the Limits here, you know? I go for the sacrifice since they have nothing else. Yeah, I'm getting pretty scared that we're like right next to the Push the Limit and we're going to accidentally discard it. All right, cycle it out. Come on, guys. Come on. Valor's Flagship. We have X's 2 on that if we want. Playing this out might not be the greatest thing. Road Rage is pretty good. So we could start with the cycle. Keep the Road Rage open. Let's see what we see. X's 3 ought to be fine, right? Keep 2 open, 1 for Road Rage, 1 for another cycle potentially. I think this is worth doing all on our turn because we still have 2 open for Collector's Vault too if that's what we want to end up doing here. That'll be good blockers on the ground for the Scavenger. Another Road Rage is actually really good, right? I think it's totally fine to do this right here, right now, and see what they have. They have 3 cards in hand, so it could be really easy to bounce their Scavenger and their Nightmare back. Going to be Shard Mage's Rescue. On the stack, we could go another Road Rage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we don't have enough, though. Yeah, we're just going to chump the scavenger and still rely on the push the limit. How do you guys feel about that? Tough decisions, dude. We still have all 4 tune-ups in the deck list. And we still have both of our, oh, Sheltered by Ghosts is a problem. Okay, this is definitely a problem. Okay, maybe I should have doubled down on the scavenger. This could come down to me, guys. Literally, it could have been another Shard Mage's Rescue too, though. Still got 2 cards in hand. Okay. We chump. I think we're in danger. Let's see it. Tune up. Nice. We still don't have a way to give haste to these things, but that could be huge for us, man. Now, Valor's Flagship, of course, is one that we want to consider, but Detention Chariot will actually have enough mana open to go ward onto the Scavenger. They have 2 mana open. That might still be the best bet. If we go Flagship, they could bounce it so easily. I guess they could bounce the Chariot too. Salvation Engine. If we had a way to give haste, that would be the target, but this is a really, really tough decision, guys. Detention Chariot could be really good, but Flagship having first strike, lifelink, and everything else, I think that's the grab, and it's too bad we don't have a bitter reunion on this board state right now. Let's see what the opponent pulls off here, as I think they could win this turn easily. I'm on the edge of my seat. They looked at their hand, but it's passing. Nowhere to run. They're going to pop the 1/1 maybe? If that's the removal they have, they get extra boost on the Scavenger. We still got that first strike. Let's see what they pull off here. Yeah, I think we can die this turn easily. Kaito. Guys, wait, does that mean what I think it means? Oh, they get to tap with Kaito. Oh no. Oh no, guys. I overlooked the bottom ability. I thought it meant that there was going to be no swing. Aw, good game, opponent. Let's trade out, see what's on top. Let's see that push the limit, right? No, it's a torch the tower anyways. It was a good game. We don't really have a target here because of the ward and everything. I would have doubled down on the Scavenger. Maybe we'd still be in this. I think that we can easily blame me in that match. There was probably an optimized line of play that could have actually kept us in that game and potentially won that game too. At the same time, might be how I put the deck list together. Maybe I should have actually went 3 push the limits instead, right? So let's go over the deck list again, guys. Boros Flagship. This was fun. I enjoyed this. Melted my brain a couple times, but overall wasn't that bad, comparatively speaking to some of the other builds that I put together in the last couple weeks that really melted my brain. This one wasn't too bad. There was definitely some tough decisions, though. 3 push the limits might actually be necessary, and what would I drop for the third? I don't know, man. If you drop a Collector's Vault, you might really struggle to actually reach the 7 mana. Speaking of which, we got 25 total mana in here, so I think it's going to be necessary. And I do like the double Demolition Field, the Mirrex, and the Vault as well. I do like having that extra utility. The early lands here with the Verge is actually going to be excellent. If we look at the split in the mana base, let's move some of this real quick so we can see. We go mountains and plains, right? If you look over here, we are leaning plains, and that's totally fine because if you only have Verge, those are also going to be plains. Generally speaking, though, well, we still have that even split here between mountains and plains anyways, because we still want a lot of early red sources too for Road Rage, Torch the Tower, Bitter Reunion too, helping us filter as well. Most of the time, though, I think Sunbillow Verge is just going to be an awesome Boros land because it's not just our mountains and our plains that are basic that power up the Verge. It's also all 4 parlors, which I would say is totally worth it too because of the Surveil 1, and you want to surveil extra vehicles and stuff into the grave anyway. So I actually really liked the mana base, and I don't think the mana base held us up at all today. Also really like the extra Mirrex tokens from Mirrex because there's a lot of reasons, right? But Mirrex tokens can be sacrificed for the bargain on like Torch the Tower and stuff too. but also just like the extra token generation. Don't forget the Mirrex tokens work well with the Salvation engine too. If you can actually get this onto the board, other artifact creatures get +2/+2. You're not really relying on poison anyways for the mites, so making them 3/3s that are swinging in actually seems really, really good. Cultivator's Caravan. Wouldn't go up any of these. I also wouldn't drop any of these too. It's going to be good ramp when you actually get it onto the board. Outside of that, when you're trading it into the grave, it's a pretty chunky vehicle, man. It's a 5/5 vehicle, so if you eventually bring it back with Push the Limit, that's still going to be pretty good. It's going to be equally as good as a 6/3 Menace and stuff too, right? I would say so. If we do some rearranging here for the cycling, again, you guys can see how the curve significantly changes when you treat the deck list as like that discard side of things, as the cycling side of things, I suppose I should say, right? So the curve significantly changes, but it still makes a lot of sense to have all 25 mana because we do want to hit that top end. You want to see your 3rd on 3 and you want to see your 4th on 4. That's for darn sure. All 3 Day of Judgments. All 3? 3 Day of Judgments. Yep, I like 3 of them in here. Do we need all 4? I guess is what my brain was getting to. Maybe. The Day of Judgment is the only reason that we were able to sustain ourselves against Esper Pixie for that long. Do I want 3 Bitter Reunions too? That's another thing that we could really consider here successfully. And in that last game too, if I would have actually had a Bitter Reunion on the board, we definitely had enough mana to give haste to the Flagship. That would have been more than enough lifelink to actually keep us in a couple extra turns maybe too. So I could see dropping a Collector's Vault and going up the Bitter Reunion, but don't forget, I opted for all 4 vaults because of that extra treasure ramp, which is actually really good. If you do find yourself up against an opponent who are taking their time as well, then Collector's Vault is just going to be really, really excellent, man. And outside of that, it's going to be pretty janky against the opponents that are going really fast. So it's tough. It's tough. I could see dropping this down to 3. I could see going up the Bitter Reunion to 3 as well. And then the last thing we need to say again is the 3rd Push the Limit going to be worth it. What would you drop? I don't think we want to drop a tune-up by any means, right? A top-end vehicle? No, because we want to plug as many vehicles in as possible. Early removal. By the way, Road Rage and Torch the Tower. This is probably going to be personal preference. Play whatever removal works well for what you're seeing in your meta, for sure, 110%. If you think Torch the Tower is just going to do better because of the exile, then do that, right? Or maybe there's more moments for you to actually bargain than actually just having vehicles remain on the board. So Road Rage might literally only be 2 damage for a while, right? Which is what we actually saw today. There were some moments where it was 3, but it didn't really matter at that point in those games either. How about 4 Valor's Flagships? Probably not worth it, but I could maybe see the 4th. I think 3 makes a lot of sense with Push the Limit especially, because if you're bringing them all back, you're only going to get to keep 1 anyways, and you'd much rather just have a good split and a variety of our other vehicles as well. Something else to be said in that last game, guys. When I took the route of the Flagship, tune up the Flagship instead of tune up the Chariot, it still could have been another Shard Mage's Rescue. I guess we still don't know what was left in the opponent's hand, right? So at that point, it's all in hindsight. The only way of actually knowing the best play would have been if the opponent could show us their hand. So that's tough. That's tough. But yeah, tune up on the Detention Chariot. It's going to actually be pretty good, man. And I do like all 3 of those. I could actually see dropping an Ironclad for the 4th Detention Chariot too, and I'd be pretty happy about that, I would say. I could see doing that right now, actually. But there are actually going to be moments as well where you're just going to want to play this as a 4-mana vehicle, so it's actually tough to say. I say more testing required, guys. What would you add or take out? Let me know down in the comments. There's actually just so many ways we could have possibly put this together. It's not even funny, dude. I could see maybe dropping a Cultivator's Caravan and going up the 3rd Push the Limit as well. But then that's less ramp leading into Push the Limit. Guys, 7 mana is so much mana. And yeah, you're trying to survive long enough to get there. But there's actually going to be moments where you're in the late game, you survived so long, but you still only have 6 mana on the board. And the only way to get the 7th was ramp earlier with a Vault or a Caravan or something. Dropping the Caravan, again, it's such a chunky vehicle too, so that's really tough. Also, it's a vehicle that works with Road Rage like really well. Turn 3 Caravan. means now you have the open mana for the Road Rage, which is actually just hitting for 3, which is actually disgusting. That's actually really good. Oh, I like the double Spring-Loaded Sawblades too. There could have been potential moments throughout the video today where maybe I should have opted for crafting the Spring-Loaded Sawblades at some point too. I do like the 2 of those though. I do like that. It's a good split overall, I'd say. Let's rearrange it to see what it normally looks like when we're not focused on cycling. There it is again. All right, guys, remember this was a suggestion from the patrons, from the patron-only Discord section. Whatever that section is called. We have a suggestions box in the Discord for patrons. There we go. So something along those lines. Yeah. The suggestion was visiting Valor's Flagship, which, funny enough, we already did with Abzan. But then the Abzan video came out. It's actually a whole thing. But yeah. I said I would be more than happy to visit Valor's Flagship again, and I was. This is a cool card. I'm ready to go again at a different deck list. Actually, I do have a Valor's Flagship, another deck list ready that's just straight up Selesnya too. That should be interesting at some point. Probably won't play that for a couple weeks, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, thank you again for the suggestion. Yeah, I was more than happy to visit Valor's Flagship again. It's a pretty cool card. And actually, the cycling pilots came into play today too, which was really, really cool, wasn't it? So just getting extra chump blockers down, all that at instant speed. Flagship's in the grave now, ready to bring back. Flying First Strike Lifelink is no joke. It's neat. It's really neat stuff. All right, guys, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. What the heck are you doing here? Thank you. Okay, I will see you in the next video.